What's going on, everyone? Today we got some good old-fashioned review video. We got top 10 scary videos circulating the internet right now by Chills. I'm sure most of you are very familiar with Chills. It's got a very distinguished voice. And so I wanted to go through these top 10. Let's see what is so scary about these videos, sort of break them down, have a discussion, per usual, down in the comments below. So make sure you join the discussion and like this video. It helps me out a lot. Lets me know that you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, followed by the bell notification so you never miss an upload. And let's get into these top 10s. Here we go.
Neighbor. A TikToker caught her creepy neighbor doing something not only suspect, but downright threatening. Posted by Lucy2481.
The neighbor's over
the
there.
Scottish TikToker was minding her own business in her own home when she captured.
So, real quick fun fact about my life that I don't think I've ever talked about in any videos is I actually had a neighbor growing up that used to do this stuff. They'd peek over, and he was just a creeper. He got arrested a couple times for being in front of schools and stuff, creeping on kids. He got called. My stepdad and my mom chased him one time because he was peeking through the window while she was showering. All kinds of weird stuff. The dude was a creep for sure. And even he built a wall in the gate of our in this house we used to have this gate, and he actually built like a door that blended into this wood gate, and so he could run in and out, because we were always wondering how does he keep escaping. Every time we'd go outside to catch him, he'd be gone. And we found out that he had a door that he was built into our gate, the gate on both sides of the wall, kind of like a fence like this. And yeah, it was really creepy, really weird. But that's a little fun fact about my life. So let's get back into this.
Captured her male middle-aged neighbor up in a tree trying to peer inside.
So this is just
Lucy
creepy,
wrote
though.
that people ask her why her curtains
creepy.
are always closed, and this is why. When her creepy neighbor saw she was filming him, he rushed to hide. Many in the comments of the clip noted that what her neighbor was doing could be defined as stalking, which is illegal. While Lucy took TikToker's advice on board, she said the police wouldn't do anything writing. Everyone says to go to the cops. They don't care. My neighbor filmed my bedroom window for a month. They did nothing.
Oh, there you go.
Doesn't make us feel safer about this TikTok.
That kind of ties into my story I just said. So she said that he was recording for a month and the cops did nothing. The same thing happened to that guy. He was arrested a couple times, like I said, for the schools, but they just let him go. And then even when we found the door and we called the cops, I mean, I was little. I was a kid. I was maybe 6, 7, but my parents called the cops, and they didn't even arrest him. He said it was an emergency exit in case of a disaster or a fire or an earthquake or something, because this was in California. I grew up in California, and so they didn't do anything. And all the times that we caught him, peeping through the window and stuff, they never did anything. I mean, we probably called the cops on this guy at least once every 2 weeks. Nothing. The cops didn't do anything. So the fact that she's saying the cops did nothing, it makes a lot of sense.
Reality. Number 9. Charge. Not every scary video circulating the internet right now is of the paranormal variety. This one is very much normal, but equally terrifying.
Sometimes events like this are scarier
August
than
of 2021, a rodeo audience in Preston, Idaho got more than they bargained for when a bull went rogue and charged into the stands. The video initially shows the bucking bronco event unfolding like it normally would. Although the rider doesn't last long on the bull, the bronco isn't done bucking yet. In fact, he looks like he's just getting started as he makes his way around the stadium.
It's crazy.
He appears to be calming down for a moment, but soon takes a different tack and charges towards the stands, jumping a barrier. At this point, the camera is dropped as the audience starts screaming and presumably moves out of the bull's path.
What do you do? You just run.
Luckily, no one was hurt in the incident, but this scary video shows one of the worst.
I'm surprised they don't have like higher barriers and stuff for that, or like even like another layer of fencing. I'm surprised that that bull was just so easily able to jump in and boom, immediately be in the stands. Yeah, that's pretty. This would be pretty scary. Like to me, this would be having a bull like this charging at me would be a lot scarier than seeing a ghost. I can tell you that.
Worst possible outcomes for an event like this. Number 8, 300-foot sandstorm. This city was recently engulfed by a 300-foot wall of sand blown in from the Gobi Desert. In the worst sandstorm the area has seen in more than a decade.
That's great.
The sand cloud was caught on camera moving slowly into the city, vanishing skyscrapers behind its thick curtain.
So I don't remember what town, but it was like 100, 200 years ago. It was a long time. I want to say it was like Italy or something like that. I could be completely wrong, but there was like a major like storm, like sandstorm type thing, and it's happened not just these, but it's happened at several places, and people like suffocate. You know, even people in their homes, like you have to like barricade your homes and keep the sand and stuff. Otherwise, like you can suffocate. Like big clouds like that, it's impossible to breathe. So I can understand why this would
Like
be
a magic trick, visibility was reduced to less than 20 feet, requiring major roads to be closed and motorists to pull to the side and wait it out. The storm didn't bring only dust. Its powerful winds blew away tourist possessions at a nature park close by. They'd gone to see the singing sand dunes, but found them roaring instead.
That's gotta be kind of crazy. Here,
The storm's effects. That sandstorm, too, was called the worst in a decade, which begs the question, will these sandstorms only get worse? Although you might expect to encounter spirits on your urban explorations, you rarely encounter a real-life crazy person. Published to YouTube by Luan Mendez in July of 2021, the scary video shows the chase in action. In the clip, the guys quickly figure out they are not alone in this abandoned space. They finally zero in on the guy at an exit point in the next room. They shout at him, shining their flashlights his way, and then follow to the door that leads outside.
Believe it or not, I actually think this is very common. Like, you know, you see like the paranormal videos and you see like the breakdown, like somebody sees a shadow or somebody walking by. I've always thought it's weird that like the first thought isn't a homeless person. Like whenever you see these like paranormal videos or people doing investigations and stuff, it's always, somebody's always like, oh, like, did you see the ghost walk by? Like, it's very likely, if not much more likely, that it is just a homeless person or somebody hanging around, or, you know, not just that, especially if it's like a popular spot. I wonder how many times paranormal investigators run into other people just like checking it out, you know? Like, I just think that most of the time when you see like a regular, like something that looks like an actual person or figure, I think more times than not, it is actually that. It's a person figure type thing. It's an actual person.
Oh,
there's a person. Yeah, see, the person there.
You can see the so-called maniac's figure vaguely hiding in the brush.
Why is he a maniac?
Ai, correu. Peraí. É ele, Douglas? Ô, amigo.
Hopefully they explain why he's a maniac, because I don't understand. Like, he's probably scared, especially if it's a homeless person and you got somebody with flashlights walking around. They probably think it's a cop, you know? Like, they're probably like, oh, like, you know, or security or something. They're probably trying to hide for the fact that they're hiding, and these people are just like chasing him around the place. Like, so that's what I want to understand. Like, what makes him a maniac? Like, to me, it just looks like a guy that was, you know, probably hanging out or sleeping there, and now you have these people shining lights in his face and chasing him around this building.
Later, when back inside, a commotion occurs in one area of the warehouse. They race forward to find one of the crew being dragged across the ground by the maniac in question. He's being pulled around a tile corner in what may have once been a bathroom.
Douglas! 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 Vem, Douglas! Vem, Douglas! Vem, Douglas! Vem! Vem, Douglas!
Okay, I'm sorry, but this is silly. The guy's not even putting up a struggle. Like, he's just standing there getting dragged by this person. Like any normal person would have been fighting. He's got a flashlight in his hand. Like, you're not trying to hit the guy. You're just letting this dude drag you all around this building. This is just silly. This is clearly a staged event. And even if it's not, let's say it isn't. There's like 5 of them, and they're just standing there watching their friend get dragged. Like, nobody's gonna try to help him or nothing. Everyone's just standing around. And again, let's say this is real. Let's say it's not total nonsense, even though I think it is. But let's say it is real. Like, maybe the guy's just defending himself. Again, my previous point. You're running around chasing this guy, flashing flashlights in his face. Like, he probably is just defending himself, especially if you're running up to him. Like, if I was him, I would probably drag him too. I don't blame him. But no, I think this is staged. This is just a silly staged thing.
The cameraman follows for a moment before turning to flee outside along with another crew member. A closer look at the maniac reveals what he's dressed like. The other cameraman's footage captures the same from another angle. Would you have stuck around to save your friend, or would you have saved your own life? This
So
evil face will answer that question for you.
They just bailed on their friend. We're not friends anymore if that happens. Like, if I survive something like that, that's it. We're done. You and me we're not friends anymore.
Number 6, Lady in White. The sensitive Sobernatural crew are in for a rude awakening with this paranormal investigation. Published to YouTube in June of 2021, this abandoned place is one of the most active the group has explored so far. While they're in one room of the house, multiple devices start going off at once. This, of course, alerts them to a paranormal presence that has yet to make itself known.
So, I actually have videos on this channel where I like talk about certain tech and things like that and how they really operate and why like things that appear to be paranormal are not. But my one thing that I've never done a video on that I probably should is like these old abandoned places. There is so much that goes on with an old building, especially one that is like decaying or has like wood and things like that, like falling apart, like all kinds of noises, certain winds hitting. It doesn't even have to be major winds. You have an empty building, so the wind flowing through that and hitting walls and reverberating and all that stuff, it makes it sound like people are talking and all kinds of stuff. I mean, obviously we haven't gotten deep enough into this one to know what is going on, but I'm just saying in general, keep that in mind, like especially when you're watching other paranormal stuff. It's very, very likely that it's just the building itself. Even like how like light fixtures and stuff like magically fall off. And you see people, they're like, oh, well, how, like that never did that before. And it's like, yeah, the place just probably hasn't been disturbed in who knows how long. Somebody bangs on the wall, or, just the vibrations of you walking because the house is falling apart can cause that. I mean, there's all kinds of explanations and scientific reasonings behind it. But anyway, let's get back to this.
Known until it does.
Pode mexer a boneca se tiver aqui.
Você pode chegar perto da boneca, você pode chegar perto aqui, ó. Não pode,
Eita,
ó.
aqui.
Dois, ó.
Dois.
Olha só.
Eita, pelo.
Lá em cima, lá em cima, lá em
Nossa
cima.
senhora.
A bottle slides across the top shelf on its own, causing everyone to scream.
That
The
could be
devices around them continue
tie
to
a
be
string to
triggered
that
by
and
the
pull it.
paranormal entity. While in another room with random toys on the floor, the team is shocked when something bangs aggressively in the next room.
Essa janela fechou.
It appears that the source
Door
of the
slam.
noise was the door slamming, as it is still ricocheting open.
Even that, like,
turning back to the other room,
there's
another
like 5 of
quieter
them,
noise
and they're
is
pointing in
heard,
another
which
direction.
turns out
Like,
to be
you
the
could just
window
bang the door
panel
or
swinging
something.
open and closed. While this all appears to occur at the hands of something invisible, the last fright is very much seen as they hear something creak off screen. The cameraman enters a hallway and casts his focus up the stairs.
Quem tá aí?
And let's get past this. Sorry. Okay. Real quick, a point that I want to make though is that there are obviously group hysteria, stuff like that. But there are certain, like, when you're in a high stress situation, and especially like when you're doing paranormal investigation, stuff like that, and you believe and you want to discover something, it's very likely that a lot of times people will like hit the door, and the door will slam and hit the wall. I can't remember the exact terminology. There's an actual phrase for it. If you know it, let me know down in the comments below. But there's like a phenomenon basically that, like, when you hit a door or a wall or you knock something over, your sort of subconscious doesn't pick up on it, so you don't even realize you did it. Like, you can hit a door and slam it, but you don't think you did it. And you see it all the time. Like, people are like, oh, did you touch it? Like, and they're like, no man, I was just standing here. And and they really believe it because they didn't even realize, because they're so caught up in the moment. It's almost tunnel vision. You get this tunnel vision where you're just like, okay, like, you're only focused on this thing. So something could touch you, could hit you, you could bump into something, you don't even realize it happened. Like, have you ever, it's the same thing like when you get a bruise and you're like, where did that bruise come from? And it's you probably hit something and just weren't aware that you bumped the desk or whatever. But anyway, let's see this ghost. Creepy woman appears.
He catches what we've all been waiting for. A creepy woman dressed all in white with long dark hair is ascending the narrow stairwell. The crew panics, and when the cameraman returns to the stairwell, the woman is gone.
Even the reaction
was she the one
wasn't
causing all this ruckus, or are
even the
many
reaction
spirits
wasn't
inhabiting
like,
this
you just
haunted
saw a ghost,
home?
dude. And that doesn't even look like a ghost. Like, that
Failed
looks like a woman with her
exorcism.
hair over
On
her
this
face.
haunted site, an exorcism was done, or so the story goes, but the mysterious entity remains. Published in June of 2021, the KBC crew investigates the scary site, starting with this statue of Mary and this creepy hidden statue within. Is it Mary again? Who is this figure? Under a bridge, the crew captures these images floating in the darkness. While they are obscure, they certainly look like the faces of demons screaming. Later, they come across this rock stack. Was it placed there as part of a dark ritual, or is it something less nefarious? They capture several images that are suspect. One appears to feature smoke and fog that wasn't there. Another shows a big bright orb floating to the left of a crew member. And lastly, of course, the demons under the bridge. Is it all bad energy, or is this the unexorcised entity's presence made manifest? Number 4, the ghost's vice. Can this phantom bother you for a light? Published to YouTube by D-Dog Michael in July of 2021, this scary video goes from bad to worse as the paranormal attempts to feed their habit. The video starts acting up right away when Michael approaches the premises.
You know what's funny is that I actually was watching on like Travel Channel, Paranormal Caught on Camera, and they were making a connection with smoking in the afterlife, which I thought was kind of funny. But it actually is kind of weird. Like, I mean, I don't have the answer, but it's kind of funny that, people smell cigarettes all the time, or they'll see smoke as if like somebody's smoking, or, they'll see like a cigarette butt light, and like, it is really fascinating. And they didn't like dive into it too much, so I don't have like a ton of information to give you. But yeah, it didn't really dawn on me, like, the connection when I was watching that Travel Channel show. But it's just kind of a funny coincidence. Like, it all happened today, but it is kind of weird that this actually happens. But
inside the old school, this strange, almost alien-like rattling is heard, and we find the light on in the other room. Michael is alone here. Will we find out who turned on the light? We'll have to wait and see. As things start to get creepier, a classroom door closes shut, causing Michael to panic and ask who is there.
The door shut. I thought oh no, never mind.
A moment later, a whole symphony of scary noises is heard down the hall.
I didn't say anything in the previous one.
It almost sounds like someone is banging irregularly on a piece of tin.
You're in a building with stuff everywhere. Like,
누구세요? 아 잠깐만요.
and if the lights work, that
This
means
goes on for a good long while as he tries to communicate with whatever spirit haunts this place. A faint whisper is heard. The voice is nearly inaudible, but you can definitely hear that someone is trying to speak to him. Michael lets him know that it's here. He holds a pack in his hand and the ghost helps himself, pulling one from the pack.
담배 여기 있습니다. 여기.
That's kind of weird, but they have magic cigarette packs like that.
Needless to say, Michael drops them and takes off running after that. When he returns, he finds the empty shoes that he first saw in the doorway, placed in a different spot in the hallway.
Hang on, bear with me. But
Why are you
that cigarette
crying?
pack, that magicians use stuff like that.
He also comes across these scattered across the floor. One of them is still lit, the ash built up on the tip. Michael later sees something in the hallway, something creepy the audience cannot see. He runs up toward a staircase but then turns around. When he returns, the shoes are in a different place again, in the room where he first found them. Not long after, something is heard running loudly across the floor.
The ghost is just moving the shoes. Maybe he wants you to take them. It's the shoes.
Michael goes chasing after it but doesn't find anything. His search is cut off early when the police show up, causing Michael to leave the joint ASAP. But this is what happened the minute he left. His camera went berserk again.
방폭대입니다.
Need a new camera.
방폭대요. 방폭대입니다.
Something seriously freaky is going on here. Unfortunately, we may never be certain what it is. Number 3, Ghost Boy. A boy passed away in this house, and his spirit remains. Published in July of 2021, this scary video will confront you with your greatest fears. As the crew attempts to speak with the ghost boy, something on the ground right beside them moves, causing 2 grown men to jump out of their skin.
Fazendo até o Spirit Box. Caralho. Meu Deus! Você viu isso, mano? Fazendo até o Spirit Box.
A voice that sounds like Beelzebub himself responds.
É uma criança ou demônio que tá aqui no
Not long after, while they're again speaking to the spirit box, something whispers back.
Nem vou perguntar quem que é, mano. Meu Deus, também quero saber.
But it doesn't sound like it's coming from the box at all. It sounds like it's in the room with them. Even more uncanny, an evil laugh is heard ringing out.
Não tem como ficar aqui.
Oh, deu uma risada, mano.
When we finally heard
like
enough from this being, a child's voice is heard from another room. Is this the boy who passed away here?
Faz uma criança, cara. Sério, veio daqui, ó.
The invisible boy later appears to close the door on his own while the crew is distracted.
Those other like laughs and stuff, like those sounded, those are like almost too clear to be, what we know as paranormal.
Further along, while they're in the pitch dark, chaos ensues. It seems one of the crew felt something hit him in the leg.
See, it's all dark. Turn some lights on.
Is it the boy again, trying to get some attention? We can safely assume it wasn't friendly. Number 2, choked by a ghost. Ali H owns a haunted house, and this scary video is a prime example of why you shouldn't. Published in July of 2021, Ali digs a little deeper into his creepy haunted house and lives to regret it. From a vent, he pulls a towel in which a necklace and rosary beads are wrapped, which someone in the comments note are Buddhist prayer beads. He believes the beads and necklace were hidden in the towel and shoved in the vent for some odd reason, perhaps to ward off evil. We'll see. Around 9:30 p.m., Ali gets in bed next to his partner. He has security cameras in his room to observe any paranormal activity that may occur there. His animals get in bed beside him. At around 3 in the morning, 4 orbs appear on the video. Then Ali starts coughing uncontrollably like he's choking.
So, I don't know about you, but I'm not a big orb person. I never really have. I just think, like, the whole orb thing is silly. I mean, there's 100 different things an orb could be. It could be dust to bugs to just debris in the air. I mean, it could be so many things. I'm not a huge orb person. Every once in a while, you see a video where, like, you get a strange orb, or something, and you're just like, wow, that's kind of weird, or like its movement and stuff. But even then, like, certain bug patterns, things like that, dust on the lens, there's a million different things. So I'm not a big, like, to me, orbs don't signify a haunting.
He can't even breathe to talk. He says he felt like something grabbed his neck.
He needs some
Later
water.
in the day, he explains how he felt during that moment. He says it didn't feel like he was choking on something, but rather that something was choking him.
Bro, when I tell you, it felt like something was actually, like, choking me out. Like, I didn't feel like I was choking
sleep paralysis
series, it felt like something was choking
and
me out.
A lot of what's
Like, it
going
felt like
on
somebody
here
was, like
explains
actually,
that.
like,
So
choking me out.
go check
It's
that
probably
series out as
best
a
that
playlist.
Ali should put what
It's
he
pretty
found in the wall
it dives
back
into the
there.
science
He
and
seems to have
paranormal
awoken
side.
a life-taking beast. I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not find out? Number 1, dinner, anyone? Have you ever seen a snake eat its prey? Made of ligaments that stretch, a snake's lower jawbone is unfused and can open wider than its body, allowing it to take in prey that it seems incapable of consuming. That's exactly what appears to be happening in this scary video circulating the internet right now, only it's not a snake.
So, I don't know how many people know this, but that's Taking of Deborah Logan. The Taking of Deborah Logan. It's actually a pretty good movie. It's one of those found footage movies, but it's actually pretty good. Last I saw it, they had it on, I want to say it was like Tubi or something. So they might still have it on there. Netflix probably has it too, because Netflix had it for a long time. So if you want to see it, check out Netflix, because it's actually a really good movie. It's an interesting movie, and this scene is actually really creepy. But no, this isn't a paranormal. Here, I'll play it for you just to play it. I'm actually gonna mute it so I can talk. But yeah, it's I don't want to like spoil the movie or anything like that, but this is a scene from that film, which I've actually posted on TikTok, and it's surprising how many people think it's actually like a real thing. But no, it's not. It's just Taking a Deborah Logan. But anyway, I think because this is the final video, and this isn't a paranormal thing. This is just, again, a scene from a movie. So we'll leave this video here. Again, if you enjoyed this types of videos and you want me to do more, let me know down in the comments below. Like this video. It helps me out a lot, and it lets me know that, you enjoy this type of content. This was a little long because, I gave you a little story and stuff like that. I'll try to shorten them more. This is my first sort of live stream, or not live stream, but review video. So let me know if you enjoyed this and you want me to dive into more. I mean, there's tons of countdown videos like this that we could dive into, and I can dissect and talk about and share experiences and stories and just kind of have a good time in a video. So let me know in the comments if you want something like that. Like this video, it helps me out a lot. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.